Okay, we're live. I can't see what's on the screen. So give me just a second here. I don't know if we even have anybody yet. I'm a little bit late, obviously, because I said I was going to start at 9:15. It's a little after 9:20. It took me a second to get set up. I just barely got my space kind of in order. It's kind of the bare bones right now. I've got a lot of stuff still to add and everything. But yeah, so we're going to be building Voltron's helmet tonight, live. So I already did one half here, and I'll go through how I did this, how I got to this point. We'll create the other half, and then we'll continue from there. Let's see if we have anybody. Nice, 13 people. Hey, sweet. Let me flip the camera around here. Oh, are you here?
Me?
Yeah.
You want me?
Okay. Yeah, if you're able to keep track of the comments and tell me who's there and everything. They don't show up all the time on my screen. Hey guys, sorry, I saw a bunch of you commenting there. For some reason, my live mode, I have to like click the screen to be able to see the comments. So Olivia's gonna help me out.
I can't see your head.
Oh.
You need to.
Here, tilt this. I was trying to set up my frame without being able to see this. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so yeah, hey, who do we have there? Have you seen a couple names on there?
Yeah, we got Turtle Gamer 24.
Turtle Gamer 24, welcome.
Ash Rendar.
Ash Rendar.
Sam Gossam.
Sam Gossam, welcome.
Chad Weaver.
Chad Weaver.
Andre Goldstein.
Andre, welcome back.
He has that same chair.
Huh?
In his room.
Nice. That's a good one. It sits up high enough. Now you probably can't see me.
No,
It sits up high enough to sit at the high desk so I can
Oh.
sit down and work.
Just turn your ringtone up.
Okay.
What? I'm sorry, Paula De La Rosa. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Wants to know the thickness of the foam you're using for the helmet.
Yeah, great question right off the bat. So I'm using the like EVA foam floor mats. It's right around 1/2 inch thick. You can get these. I have a link, I think, in my Captain America video in the description. A link to Amazon where I bought these. It comes in like a pack of like 6 of these tiles, which will make tons of stuff. I've made 2 Captain America shields, a Wonder Woman costume, and I'm still using them to make this stuff. So it goes a long ways, and it only costs like $20 for that whole pack, or even less, depending on where you go. You can get them Harbor Freight, other hardware stores as well. They have them, but you can find them online too. So anyway, yeah, great question. All right, so we have a pretty good amount of people there already, right? It sounds like.
Yeah.
But on the top left, it should show how many people.
No.
Unless it says poor connection.
Poor connection.
How do we have a poor connection? That wireless is right there. Okay. So, well, I'm guessing we have a good amount of people from the comments. Also, too, as we get going here and stuff, I'm going to try to answer questions as much as possible. I'm going to kind of go
Really,
for a second.
That's better than what it was.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, and it's a little bit behind too, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for a little bit, kind of walk through some of the steps, talk through how I'm making this, and then I'll kind of stop and say, hey, do we have any questions and stuff like that. Also, I have Super Chat turned on, so if you guys want to, sponsor me or sponsor this video, support me, feel free to, see if that's working. I haven't had anybody do it yet to see if that works, but
Lord Gurm wants a shout out.
hey, Lord.
Is that how you spell it? Say
Lord Gurm? Lord Gurm? Hey, how's it going? Yeah, so we'll get going, and then I'll try to kind of stop and take questions here and there. If Olivia sees a really good one as I'm kind of going, she'll let me know, and I can answer that as we kind of work. Especially during like glue drying times, it'll be a great time for me to kind of pause and answer a lot of questions, okay? So, let's go ahead and probably want to angle this down. You've probably got a better look at the angle there.
Yeah, you can't see your eyes, but we can see
Can you
your
see that?
hands.
Okay, cool.
What's more important, beautiful eyes or your hands?
Alright, so I'm just getting my computer turned on here. So yeah, I threw together this half last night. I was playing around with the template. I'll kind of show you guys a brief explanation of how I created the template so that you guys can do that yourselves and get to this point. I'm also going to probably try and take the template that I've created and digitize it so that that will be available for you guys to be able to get as well. Let's see.
Rafaela Caravolo says, thanks so much for teaching me new things.
Awesome, happy to help. Okay, so here's the template that I made. It looks pretty ugly and crazy because it's like tin foil with masking tape. But you know, this is kind of how you start off with a rough look. So basically what I did...
Can you repeat the phone? We got another phone question.
Oh, yeah. So again on the foam, we've got more people showing up here now. The foam that I'm using for this is it's like a 1/2 inch format foam. It's like these tiles that they use to be able to put down for a garage, you know, in a kid's play area or a workout gym kind of thing. It's just these 1/2 inch foam tiled floor mats. I got mine on Amazon. I like the ones that have kind of this tread on it rather than some of the ones that have the, let me see. Rather than this treading, because this just is harder to work with. It sticks out a lot more on the other side, and so I find it a little bit more difficult to use. But yeah, so I think in my Captain America video, Captain America shield, I have a link as to where I got these on Amazon. I think also I have a link in the Wonder Woman tutorial videos as well in the description. Just on Amazon, it's like a pack of 6 or something like that. So, all right. So how I made the template, let me grab.
Tokyo Blockus would like to know if this method would work for a Magneto helmet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Great question. So I feel like Magneto's helmet looks just the same as the Voltron helmets as far as the shape of the eyes and the side pieces and everything. We're just going to add a lot more detail than his helmet probably has. But yeah, I mean, you can start with the same template, same base, same idea to create a Magneto helmet. It's just a matter of deciding the shapes and the design that you add to it from there. So to kind of give you an idea of how I started, how I created the template before we jump in, I started just with one of these little, like, super cheap balls that you can find at like Walmart or whatever. I stole it from one of the boys for a little bit after they went to bed. And then I just took tin foil, and obviously in bigger pieces, and I just kind of wrapped it around the ball. Most of the ball, I just kind of left part of the bottom open. And then from there, I then took masking tape. This is just regular painter's tape because it's what I had around. You could use some cheap duct tape or, you know, regular masking tape. I wouldn't recommend necessarily Scotch tape.
We're back to a poor connection, just so you know.
Okay. I wouldn't recommend necessarily like Scotch tape kind of thing or packing tape, the clear kind, but something that has a little bit more mass to it, like this. Anyway, so then I just went and taped around where all the tinfoil was to kind of just give stiffen the tinfoil so it would hold its shape. And then, so then what I got from there was basically just a big round, I don't know if I can kind of piece this
Here,
together.
let me kind of.
But then that kind of gave me just like a round ball piece because the top of the helmet is really round. So that gave me kind of just a round base to start from. And then I took this head form. It's very creepy because I just made it out of like moldable thermoplastic and kind of just wrapped it around my head in pieces and then Frankensteined it together. But for a basic template, it works. You can get like head forms for not too expensive online. I just haven't done it yet. Or you can do a cast of your own. There's little tutorials on how to make a head cast, so it's like exactly your head shape. So then I took this and I took that kind of half I took the ball shape, and I only need to do one half because it's going to be symmetrical for the pattern. I only need to do one half of it, so I just drew a line down the middle and cut that off, and then took like the half ball, and then I stuck it on this head. Can they see the head down here?
Yeah.
Okay. Stuck it on the head, lined it up with the center line, and then I kind of, cut some pieces here and there, and then taped more, and just kind of filled it out. So, because before it was just like he had like a bowl cut, like Three Stooges style stuff. But then I kind of added to it, added down, kind of just, and then kind of just taped past where I was thinking I would need it, and then I started to kind of draw on the shape as to where, I thought the pieces would line up, and just looking at reference images online and that kind of thing. And then from there, it comes out in like, once you kind of cut that out, you need to, it's going to be kind of bulgy because it's got the three-dimensional shape to it, kind of rounded and everything. And so on some pieces, you want to basically take that three-dimensional shape and then make it so you can flatten it and put it down to a flat shape. And so in this case, I did what's called a dart right here. So I started here and I was like, okay, I can kind of flatten this, but then it got to this point and it was still really bulgy like that, and I couldn't flatten it without destroying the template shape. So in order to make it flat, I just had to cut this line up here, and then I could flatten it out. And then once we go and glue it back together, it'll take that curve back into consideration.
Sam Gossam wants to know if this can be useful for a Batman mask.
Yeah, I mean, like these same principles can apply for pretty much anything. Any kind of cowl, mask, other helmet, pretty much anything like that. For things that are tighter fitting, like a Batman mask, instead of doing something like round like this to kind of start getting your template going, I would recommend instead just kind of actually, wrapping some saran wrap kind of around your head in some different spots and that kind of thing, and then doing the tape actually on your head, or if you have a head form that is the shape of your head, then that's perfect to do, and kind of create that template around your own head so that it's a lot more tight form fitting, especially for like a cowl or something like that where it needs to follow your exact head shape. But yeah, I mean, the same principle applies as far as for the pattern making. And once you kind of figure out that pattern making, you can then, you just kind of start with that same idea of using the subject that it's going to be going on, creating that pattern, and then you make it to, draw it on and make it form fit. So,
Andre Goldstein, he's been making some jokes on here. So, and he also likes the Three Stooges.
Nice. Okay, so on the darts, and you also notice that I have all these little cuts in it. Oh, wait, can you see?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Andre, you're very funny. Can't read them all, you're so funny.
Funniness acknowledged. So when you have the pattern, something that's very important before you cut the darts and before you cut out these pieces, from once you've like cut it off the mannequin or off of your main form, is you want to just draw these lines across the seams before you do it, so that you know how it's going to line up when you go to glue things back together. You don't want to end up with like, the end of your seam that's supposed to be straight and one part sticking out further than the other. You want them to be able to line up. So as you kind of go, if you have those marks, they're called registration marks, then you're able to line up exactly where those go, kind of push and pull it so that you're lining up all the way along. So when you get to the other end, it's going to line up straight. And you'll see that a little bit better here once we kind of get going. All this will make a lot more sense. But so all I did to make those was I just drew the lines, and then I would just cut, boom. Wait, can you see? Okay. You can cut just boom, boom, or take an X-Acto knife and you just kind of cut a little triangle at each one of those registration marks. That'll allow you to be able to transfer those marks on when you draw the template onto foam with a marker. So that's kind of how I made the template. Sorry that it was just kind of a longer process, and I was trying to figure it out. I haven't made a Voltron helmet yet, and so I didn't know how many attempts it was going to take to be able to get the pattern right. And it's gonna happen as you get going. You might try it, and it's like, oh man, this is off. Then you just, the foam is pretty inexpensive. You can just, take your template, make adjustments, start over, try it again until you get it exactly how you want. And so just to save time tonight, I wanted to kind of have that template ready to go for you guys. And this is what the first half looks like put together. So now let's get into, first let's take a couple questions on that, and then we'll jump into transferring this onto the foam, cutting it out, and how it glues together.
Andre Goldstein wants to know if we know how much of a workout being chased by little kids is.
Yes, we do. It's been like the last couple nights, as right before bed, the kids have just wanted to chase me around, and we throwing balls around at each other like this.
And he's done a custom template before.
Nice, perfect. Well, good thing we're jumping on to the next section then.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we move on?
They might come up. We're on a little bit of a delay.
Let me get my visual references up here.
Say something.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was just getting my visual references up there. Do we have any questions before we move on? Okay. All right. So, can we tilt back down to see the foam here?
Sure. Chad Weaver wants to know if you'd make an attack of the Titan sword.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Attack of the Titans, and you guys might make fun of me, but I have not seen it yet, any of it. So, I need to watch that, and I've been hearing there's a lot of cool stuff for with those swords. But yeah, I'll have to look into that for sure. Add it to the list as something to check out and see what I can do for it. Thanks for the question, Chad Weaver. Is that how you said it was? Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. All right. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to move on. So I've got my floor mat here, and you can see, maybe you can see, I've got kind of a gash in from our move. Something happened here where this got a big old hole punctured into it. So just when you're getting ready to lay your stuff out, just kind of pay attention to that kind of stuff and try to lay them out in a space where there's not big gashes. So as you can see right here on this corner, I already did the right side of the template, so that's this side that I've actually traced out. So when I trace this side now, I'm going to do the left side of the helmet, so I'm going to make sure I just flip my template over. So both of these I'll actually be putting on backwards. And then you just try to line it up somewhere where you feel like you can best use your foam without losing, because unfortunately the one thing about working with foam is you can't reuse the scraps as easily.
Can you say a couple places to get EVA foam? Anna B wants to know.
Yes, so a couple places to get EVA foam. One is on Amazon in like the tiles like this. You can also get them at hardware stores, like Harbor Freight. I believe they have them at places like Home Depot and Lowe's. I'm not sure about Ace Hardware, but they'll usually be kind of in the like section where just like work mats and that kind of thing. There's some different styles. There's the square tiles. There's the big like anti-fatigue mats that they're usually in like the workspace, workbench area kind of thing. I usually just get mine online. There's a great place, TNT Cosplay. If you don't want to deal with the ribs and like all that stuff that comes on the back of the foam, you can get just soft, like smooth, both sides are smooth, from TNTcosplay.com, I believe is their website. But they have some great stuff, and it's really well priced too. And they have different thicknesses that you can choose from too. You can get like the 2mm craft foam size, the 5mm, which is kind of like an in-between. You can get this size at like the 1/2 inch. And I think they might even have like a one that's thicker than that too. But yeah, so that's just a couple places. I've kind of gotten it from a couple different spaces so far. The ones from Amazon worked really well, and I really like the ones from TNT. So
Chad Weaver wants to know how to make a sword sheath. Maybe you could address that in another video, or do you have a sword sheath?
So my Deadpool swords and back sheath video kind of goes into how I would go about making a sheath, and it depends on the size of the sword of whether that method would work, but it's using PVC pipe. But yeah, check out my Deadpool swords and back sheath video, and that will give you kind of an idea of what I would recommend doing for a sheath that makes it so it's like it's like rigid, hard, and like makes it so you can draw the swords and everything really easy. It's really cool. So yeah, great question. All right, we ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay. Can you tilt it down so we can see here?
Can't tilt it down.
Okay.
Chad Weaver says thanks.
Yeah, no problem, man. Okay, so I've seen a technique where Evil Ted does this. He kind of uses sewing pins and kind of pins down his template to the mat, to the foam. He also usually transfers them to paper before he does this, and I just kind of take them from my base template here. But with it being kind of stiff, I'm able to just trace it on without having to pin them down. It's probably more accurate if you pin it down, but what else? So this is the part where it gets kind of different than what I'm used to with doing the live video, because this part I would just fast forward through, or I would say trace it onto the foam. But you guys have to watch the whole thing because it's live.
So now would be a good time for questions.
Yeah, now would be a great time for questions, and we'll see if I can multitask and answer a question and draw at the same time. Oh, so then once you get it traced out, you want to make sure to transfer these registration marks. That's what I was talking about, of why you do the triangles. I don't know if you guys can see that there. So that way you can come through and the marker can fit inside to be able to mark these registration marks. And these registration marks are so important, you guys. I can't stress how much. It'll save you so much time and pain to just do these registration marks up front. A couple times I've forgot to do it, and then I try to add them later, and it doesn't work out. And sometimes I can get it to work okay if I'm really careful, but a lot of times it just things don't line up, and you have to take it back apart or change it, or anyway, saves a lot of time. So make sure to remember to do those.
Andrew said Evil Ted was the one who gave him the idea to get one from TNT Cosplay.
Yeah, that's actually who I heard it from too. Was he first mentioned it, and so I checked him out, and they've got some great foam. And their whole mission is to kind of provide foam for cosplay use, where it doesn't have the ribs on the other side, so that you can have smooth surface on both sides.
Several people want you to know that Attack on Titan Season 1 is on Netflix.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know. Because I've been wondering, I'm like, man, I've been hearing about this, how do I see it? So if it's on Netflix, I can definitely watch it. I've got something else to watch now. Oh, whoops. I just rewatched the whole second season of Voltron yesterday.
That's what you were doing.
Well, as I was building my space here and getting stuff set up and making this template.
Snowy Panda says, will you be uploading this as a clipped video? Because I missed the start and I'm really wanting to do a Keith cosplay.
Yeah, oh, actually, that's great too, because I'm planning on doing Keith's helmet. I mean, they're all going to be the same as far as how you make it, but I'm going to be painting this one with the red for Keith. Because I think that one is going to be awesome. Okay, so, yes, and I thought about doing these so that I just leave it up, but it's I find it hard to go back and watch a big long live video. So I've been considering taking the clips once we kind of finish up the process of getting through this, because we might only get so far on this tonight, and then next week I'll do the live stream again and we'll continue the build, or we'll just kind of see how it goes. But once we get it finished, I would like to just kind of edit a video together of it that makes it a little bit shorter and more compact. Is that kind of what you were asking for?
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to let you read this one.
Uh-huh.
Rafaela I'm sorry if I said your name wrong.
Where at? Sorry. Oh, right here. Cosplay in Shingeki Koijin.
I thought maybe it would mean something to you.
No, sorry. I'm not sure what that
We're
means.
not as cool as you.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam Gossam really wants you to do a DIY Attack on Titan jacket.
I'm gonna have to watch this Attack on Titans show.
Lincoln Hamza says, could you do more Star Wars props?
Yes, I plan on doing a series of lightsabers very soon. I'm just barely getting my shop back together, and now I'll be able to start doing a lot more fun stuff. So I'm really excited to get going on a bunch of projects. I have a bunch of lightsabers planned that I'm gonna do, and maybe some blasters and stuff like that too. So
cool, keep going.
All right. So I don't know if you guys saw when the camera was turned up, but so once I got these traced out, I marked L for the left side on both of these just so I can keep track. And then this one is the top, and this one is the side. Okay. So now we get to the fun part of cutting this out. So what I found that I like.
Pull them towards you just a little.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can use an X-Acto knife. Some people go through the effort of buying scalpels to do this. I think like these kind of things work just fine. I like to use the X-Acto knife for more like fine details. Sometimes cutting through some of the thicker foam, it's a little bit harder to get through. But or if you do have a bunch of small cuts that you need to make, when it's kind of big, broad cuts like this, I prefer just to use the extendable blade like this. But one thing you want to always do when you're cutting with the foam is you want to make sure that you keep your blade sharp and like sharpen it, after every couple cuts, because the foam dulls the blade quite quickly, and the sharper the blade is, the cleaner your seams and your cuts and everything are going to be. So this is just, I stole this out of our kitchen knife set. So, yeah, and then I like this too because no matter how thick a foam you're working on, you can go from like thin to, super thick like styrofoam or something. So, and then you just want to make sure, can we see this here? Okay. So when you're cutting, you want to make sure to cut down at a 90-degree angle. You don't want to go at a 45 unless you're purposely planning on trying to make like a tinted seam. But in this case, we're wanting to just to go smooth. So we want to make sure that we cut at a 90-degree angle. And then, yeah, it's just pretty straightforward.
Andre wants to know it's a box cutter instead of extended bull blade.
Okay. Extendable box cutter blade.
Chad Weaver's wondering if you have a tip for if you don't have a heat gun, how to make a Captain America shield without one.
Yeah, so what you can do instead of using the heat gun method with the Captain America shield is you can cut the foam in like triangle shapes so that they all kind of, when you glue them all together, they kind of come to the middle and create the curve that you want. A good example, I think that Lost Wax channel has a video where he does some kind of domed shape to kind of give you an idea of what that would be. Basically, it ends up being like a bunch of like bullet shaped things. I don't have a template or anything for doing that. You'd have to kind of plan it out and figure it out. How that would work. You could probably take like a sled or something like that has that shape and then do the same patterning technique, throw some tinfoil on there and then tape it, and then that would kind of give you an idea, and then you can cut it into pieces that you'd be able to just glue together and make sure that the pieces can lay down flat, and then just be able to glue them all together and you can make that dome shape. And then you just have to, I was just trying to go for the least amount of seams with using the heat gun the way I did it, but yeah, great question.
So the Japanese word that we didn't know, it's Japanese for Attack of Titan.
Oh, nice. Cool. Well, obviously I am missing out on this Attack on Titan show, so that will be the next thing that I watch.
Andrew Goldstein says, or use a gas stove very, very carefully. I do not endorse this.
That could work.
Or not.
Yeah. Not.
It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, definitely makes it a little bit more interesting.
Rafaela Carvalho
Mm-hmm.
has been sending kisses from Brazil.
Nice. That's awesome.
And she says, send saving kiss. So I'm not sure what that means, because I'm not very clear.
Okay, so I'm just going to sharpen it again here before this next cut. And then just once again, it's the same thing. Just make sure you're doing the 90-degree cuts on this. So, any other questions while I'm cutting this out? So I'm curious how many people we have on here that have never seen my channel before, but just like saw a post I just did on Twitter or on Cosplay, Amino, or something like that joined in here.
Anybody? We're on a bit of a delay, so it'll take us a minute. I don't know.
No? Nobody? Everybody was already familiar with the channel?
Everybody's a raving fan.
Awesome!
Andrew Goldstein says, Skylar, your wife is a bit adventurous, for lack of a better word.
For heating things up over a stove?
He has no idea. Joshua Harper says he's watched a lot of your stuff and he's a raving fan, right?
Hey Josh, how are you, man?
Oh. Andrew was referencing the gas stove.
Okay.
Rafaela says that, I'm sorry, I don't know how to speak very well in English. You're great, Rafaela. Don't worry about it.
No, yeah,
We're so happy that you're here.
You're awesome. I think that's so cool. I'm sorry that I don't speak Portuguese. I'm the one that that's sorry that I don't speak your language. Okay, so all right. So are we seeing these now? Can you tilt that camera down real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh really wants to buy some foam now.
Yeah, it's really it's so cool to work with the foam. You can do such cool things, and it's really inexpensive, and you don't need a whole lot of tools to be able to work with it and be able to make really cool stuff. So it's definitely something that I would recommend getting into and learning for sure. And so I'm excited to be able to teach you guys some stuff on this today. And I'm by no means like a master or anything. I'm still just the cosplay apprentice. So.
Snowy Panda wants to know if you'll be making the rest of Paladin armor on video eventually.
I'm with kind of getting started on this. I'm kind of getting excited about the idea of continuing and doing the rest of the armor too. We'll see how the helmet goes, and how many people we have tuning in for the live stream and that kind of stuff. To see if we just continue after this and do the rest of the armor as well. But yeah, I think that would be way cool.
And no, Nathan, we haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, and we're so embarrassed. We're dying to.
It's really hard to make sure we can get out and find a babysitter.
Yeah, any of you want to babysit?
All right, so now you can see this kind of is starting to look a little more similar to this half that we have. So the pieces are going to basically connect together. You can see the registration marks.
Oh, here, let me show them the registration.
Oh yeah, you can't see.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Now you can see the registration. So you can see that these will kind of pull together like this, and then this seam will go like this when we glue it all together. But to help it out a little bit, we are going to use the heat gun. And for everybody, that's just getting started in doing cosplay stuff, a heat gun is the first tool if you're gonna be buying something to do cosplay. I would recommend a heat gun over getting like a hot glue gun or something like that. Obviously the heat gun's a little bit more, but you can find them for some good prices at like Harbor Freight or even online on Amazon. I have a link in some of my videos to a heat gun that's like under 20 bucks. That works great. But I mean, you're gonna use it for everything in cosplay. It's like a cosplayer's best friend. So I would highly recommend getting a heat gun. If you don't have one yet, save up, do whatever you need to, get one, look at, thrift stores, see if you can find one there. Super helpful. So
Mark, Tella wants to know if you're gonna post this pattern.
Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to digitize this so that I can make it available to you guys to be able to get, so that you can make this helmet as well. And if you guys don't like my design, I think Bill Duran and Evil Ted have both done one. I know Evil Ted does have a template available as well for his. So either way, there's lots of options out there for you guys. I hope to be able to get this out for you guys as we kind of get going on this, and when I get my computer up and running. For some reason I can't find my power cord in the move. It's just gone.
We're so embarrassing.
So
Snowy Panda, shout out to you. New Australian fan from about a month ago.
What? From Australia? That's so cool.
Mark,
Brazil, Australia, this is awesome.
Mark Tuttle's kids want 3 sets of this armor by Comic-Con. Good luck, Mark. And then Chad Weaver, you bought fabric and you're ready to make a Hobbit cloak, but you don't know how. Skylar, go. While you. Oh, I guess you can't do it.
It's gonna be kind of loud with the heat gun. How to make a Hobbit cloak?
I think you just have to find a pattern.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some different patterns available online. I remember watching. Look up like a Red Riding Hood cloak, because I think there's going to be probably some similar patterns that people might have, and that might be a pretty common one that people have done that you might be able to find for free as well. Yeah, I mean, I would look kind of for that. Also, if you're not wanting to make one, there you can check out Wish, wish.com, and see sometimes they have some like decent looking stuff for really cheap, that you might be able to find a cool cloak on there that you could make work as well. So
awesome.
All right.
Time to heat gun.
Okay, so tilt that back down here. You're gonna want to look at that screen because it's gonna be on a delay there.
What?
Were you looking at that screen for the tilt
No,
down?
I'm looking.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna heat this up and add a little bit of a curve into it to kind of help this seam be a lot easier to manage and deal with. So I just turn the heat gun on as high, well, not as high as it can go. It can go higher because this one has a lot of settings, but I just turn it on to high. And you just move it around. I don't know if you guys can see, as I'm kind of going along here, you can see that the foam is actually kind of changing color a little bit. It's sealing the top of the foam as I'm going along here, kind of closing up the pores of the foam along the top, or like kind of contracting.
Happy birthday on the 26th, Andre. And have fun at sleepaway camp. That sounds really fun.
26th of this month?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's turning 17. That's a fun year.
Yeah, 17's a good number. Wait, so this is your golden birthday,
What?
right? 17 in 2017? Or wait, no, it's golden birthday.
Can
Like,
you guys hear us?
is golden birthday like
You
Would
have
that
to
be
be on the
26?
17.
26 on the 26th in 2026, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, well maybe it's not even.
It's like a silver birthday.
Silver or bronze birthday.
Nathan Reynolds wants to know if you'll be making anything spider related.
I love Spider-Man, and I think I've just been nervous to try to make a Spider-Man costume just because I feel like I'd be nervous that I wouldn't be able to do it right, and I would like fail his legacy. But I definitely want to, and Everett's been begging me to make a Spider-Man costume, so I'm sure I will be eventually. I've definitely wanted to make like a Spider-Man like soft shell mask to be able to go on underneath like underneath the Spider-Man suit to kind of help give you that like Spidey face shape with like the magnetic lens kind of thing. So I definitely have some thoughts and have planned out some things for that.
So he's kind of doing a new homemade suit from the new movie, the homemade one that
Oh, yeah?
And he'd love some help and inspiration on the web shooters and goggles.
Oh,
just so
okay.
you know.
Yeah. For the web shooters and stuff, have you seen the moldable thermoplastic that I use?
Yes, we have seen it, Skylar. It's awesome.
Sorry if the heat gun's really loud.
Sorry if your wife's obnoxious.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw what I was kind of doing there. After I heated it up, I was just using my knee and using that to kind of just put some curve into the foam. I just find my knee to work pretty well for that, but I have pretty bony knees. You can also take something like a doorknob, or like if you have like the end of a kind of a rounded end of a screwdriver or mallet or something like that that's pretty smooth, you can like clamp it down to the table and just kind of use that. Just basically something where you can kind of just roll the foam over. It's like rolling out steel kind of thing where you just kind of add the curve into it.
Josh Harper wants to know, how long hot should the heat gun be on for?
It just kind of depends. Like I kind of probably went a little bit longer just because I was talking there. But you just heat it up until you can feel that it's like, I heated it up on both sides too because I feel like that helps. You know, you can do it for a little bit, try it, bend it. If it cools down pretty quick, then just heat it back up and do it again. I don't really pay attention to how much time or any kind of set thing. I just kind of, once I kind of feel like it's pretty warm enough that it'll mold and hold. Hey, that rhymed.
Mold and hold.
I'm like a poet and I didn't even realize it. Okay.
Nathan Reynolds said that the face shell tutorial would be awesome, I think, with the Spider-Man.
Okay, sweet, yeah. Yeah, and as far as for the web shooters and stuff, I've been looking at those and I was thinking of some ways with like moldable thermoplastic that I use, or like using some Warbler or something like that, that those could be be made pretty easily. Okay, so added a little bit of curve into that, so now you can see that gap is not near as far apart. It's going to be a lot easier for us to glue that together now. So then with this top piece as well, I'm going to do the same thing, heat it up. I'm going to kind of add just a slight curve in it this way, but definitely a curve in it this way to be able to help out with that. Okay. So super excited to get going on this one and get to the gluing section because that's super cool. So Olivia stepped out for a second, so I won't see you guys' comments for just a moment, but we're going to heat this up and I'll show you what I mean by how the curve that we're going to add into this one. Okay, I think I just had some comments. Okay, facial tutorial, you tell us all the jokes I made. Okay, cool. So here we go with the heat gun again. Apologize for the noise. Okay, one last pass on this side. Okay. Alright, so So then same thing, I'm just going to kind of run it over my knee. And I'm kind of also pushing down on it, pushing it down into my knee as I'm kind of pulling it around. And then I'm going to go through and just I'm kind of pushing with my fingers underneath, and I'm pulling with my thumbs, and just kind of giving it just a slight curve this way. You don't want it to be too dramatic, or you're going to have a little bit of like a bump that sticks out in your helmet, but just enough to kind of stretch that out, give it just a little bit of a curve. And we can always heat this and shape it more if we realize it needs more and things like that. So, thank you. Okay, I don't know what comments I missed there. Okay. So, now we've got...
I will, Andre. You will hear all your jokes later.
Okay, so now you can kind of see that with adding these curves in to it, that it's gonna be a lot easier to stick these together now. Because before, with them being so flat, it was like, oh, that's gonna be hard to put together. But now it'll just come together a lot easier. So, are you guys ready to glue?
Good night. Night, Andre.
Good night, man. Okay, so time to glue, and this part's really fun. Is this one dried out?
One's brand new.
That one's the brand new. Okay.
Josh is super excited.
Yeah, gluing! Okay, so we should probably get some masks on and maybe open a window.
You focus on you.
Okay, sorry. All right, so what I like to use, everybody has kind of a different preference, but it's contact cement. And I think that by far contact cement is the best way to glue foam together. A lot of people recommend barge. I haven't used it personally myself, but I have used DAP Weldwood contact cement, and it's worked great for me, so that's kind of the one I recommend because I know it. I don't want to recommend a product that I haven't tried myself, but I hear a lot of good things about barge as well. But yeah, so you can get this in like a little bottle like this that has a little applicator attached, which is handy. You can also get it in a big tin as well. Yeah, so just kind of depending on the price, I think like you can get this at Walmart, you can get it at Home Depot, basically any hardware store. I like this one just especially as like a first, if you're just first trying this, just get the small one, kind of get used to using it, using the applicator, that kind of thing. And then if you're like, oh yeah, I like this one, I'm going to go with it, then buy the bigger thing next time you go and invest the money a little bit more. But yeah, I think this is like definitely under $10. It's probably like at Walmart, it's probably 2 or 3, maybe 5 at Home Depot kind of thing, 5 or 7. But anyway, so that's what I use to do it. I'll show you how that's going to work here in a second. I do want to get a mask real quick though, because this stuff is
real quick,
stinky.
tell people what Super Chat is and how they can kind of sponsor this video.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Super Chat. Basically, it's a way like with doing these live streams that you guys can, sponsor the video, kind of make it possible for me to keep doing these more and more. As I've probably said before, I'm really wanting to transfer into doing this full time and make this my career, so I can just do this, all day long and just crank out a bunch of cool stuff for you guys. And so, in kind of effort for that, YouTube created a super chat for the live stream. Basically, I think there's like a little $sign in your comment section. Yeah. You can hit that, and then you can choose how much you want to do. I think any amount. I think you can do like anywhere from 50 cents to $5,000 or probably even more. I don't know, but as much as you want, and then I think
It holds your comment.
and then what it does is you make a comment along with that, and then it pins your comment up to the top and holds it up there for so much time. The more that you donated, the longer it sticks up at the top and that kind of thing. And so, especially when there's a lot of they kind of created it so when there's a lot of comments going, you can see, you know, the ones that get stuck at the top you can see easier, and those ones kind of get more attention, more questions answered, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, too, if you guys just want to be able to sponsor this video, you know, chip in just a little bit to make it possible for me to keep doing these for you guys. I would love it. I'm not even sure if the super chat works, so if somebody wants to do $1 and test it, that would be awesome, because I think I turned it on, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so anyway, it's a really cool thing that YouTube does, and it actually gives me more of a cut than like the AdSense and that kind of thing does, because it's a lot more direct to just my channel bringing in that
cool. You get a
donation,
mask,
so.
and I'll say some of these.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab a mask real quick.
So, Sam Gossam wants to know if you've ever had chocolate-covered peanuts.
Yes.
Chad Weaver, good night. He's got to go to bed, and he'll see us later.
All right, good night, Chad. Thanks for your questions. Great questions. Thanks for joining us.
And the Live Project wants you to make a werewolf costume. We're not making fun of anyone. It's an inside joke. Okay.
Yeah, that Red Riding Hood video that I mentioned earlier, we were watching that, and then like one of the comments was, make a werewolf costume. And for some reason that night, it was late at night or something, and we just thought it was so funny. And so now it's an inside joke. But, all right, cool. So let's tilt the camera down here, and I'll show you guys how this gluing works. I apologize if my voice is muffled for this part because I put on this mask. But, huh? Oh. Okay. So, the cool thing about contact cement is that it actually dries, technically kind of dries before you actually put the pieces together. But once you put the pieces together, they bond instantly. And so you need to be careful on this part when you're actually putting it together, because it can bond very quickly and it bonds very solid. Like once it dries up, the foam will probably rip before the seam will. So some people I've heard recommend using like an E600 glue or something like that. And I was asking them how they do it, and they have to clamp their foam together somehow, and they have to let it dry, all of their little seams dry for like 24 hours before it sets. And I'm like, are you crazy? That would take forever. I would not be doing cosplay if it took that long. I am not that patient of a person. So what I'm doing, and I don't know if you guys can see this okay. Can they see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm slacking.
So you just put on a thin layer here.
I'm just teasing you.
Just make sure that you cover Anna. Just,
Okay. Sometimes it sounds mean. You can't see my face.
just make sure that you cover, the entire seam edge here evenly, and you have to put it on both sides with contact cement. So there we go. Sometimes it's hard to get down in these little cracks here, the tight corners. I don't know if you guys can see. So you just want to make sure to get a nice even coat. Just make sure that it doesn't need to be super thick to work. You just want to make sure that everything is covered so that the whole surface has something that it's bonding to the entire surface on the other side. That'll help. The more careful you are about this part, the easier your process is going to be of getting your seams perfect and lined up and everything in the long run, so that you're not having to do a bunch of fixes and repairs and sanding or blending or anything. I'll show you guys how to do that though, because I purposely in my haste made some pretty big gaps in my seams on the the other half of the helmet. So, okay. So once you get both sides covered there,
Snowy Panda wants to know if you have to work quick with contact cement.
you've got a pretty good amount of working time to get it on there. So you can see I'm using a little piece of scrap foam to kind of get it down in this edge here, just to kind of make sure that everything's coated. You don't have to work super quick. You've got some time to kind of get it on there. And the nice thing is that once you get it on there, you have to kind of wait 5 minutes anyway before you can put everything on. So it's not like you're that if you wait too long putting it on that you're going to be in trouble or anything. So you'll see here in just a second when I go to put them together. Okay, so we'll set that off to the side for a second. So yeah, like I was saying, you want to give contact cement like about 5. Some people do, you know, I think it kind of depends on the climate, but like between 5 to 10. Some people wait 15 minutes. But yeah,
It's really dry here, so.
yeah, it's really dry here. We live in a desert, so. But yeah, so then the nice thing though is while that's going, you know, you can glue up your other sides and stuff too. So I've got that middle piece. Now I can do the outside here that we're going to be doing the top part too. Can they see this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I love you.
Sam also wants to know if you like chocolate covered peanuts. Did we cover this? He asked if you had them. I wants to know if you like them.
Yeah. I like, yeah, I like them.
There you go, Sam.
I think my favorite kind of nut is like cashews, probably.
Like chocolate cashews?
Olivia loves chocolate anything.
Lord Gurm's back. Lord Gurm 000 is
Oh,
back.
nice. Welcome back. Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell there in the light. I'm just trying to get a nice even coat along the whole thing. Like I said, it doesn't have to be too thick. You just want to make sure that there's some contact cement on the whole seam, especially along the edges, because that's where your seam's going to be most noticeable if you missed. So.
Joshua Harper isn't convinced that you like chocolate covered peanuts.
I don't know. I just haven't like eaten them a ton, but like.
This is what we're discussing. Thanks, Sam.
So yeah, it's a very relaxing, very stinky part of the process. Always read the directions on the label and follow all product instructions. I am not liable for any misuse. I don't know, I feel like you have to say those kind of things on anything time you're teaching people how to do stuff, right?
Yes.
Alright. How many people do we have watching right now?
This says 11.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's fluctuated from 16 to 8
Whoa,
to
we went
11.
all the way
We're
to
at
16.
9. Sourpucker's wondering, how do I change an average size chest armor template to a larger size?
That is a good question. Do you have any kind of like vector software? Like, do you have access to Adobe Illustrator, or I mean, I guess that there's some free ones like I think. Anyway, is the template like is it like just in a PDF template?
She has Pepakura.
Oh, a Pepakura template. Yeah, I'm not sure how the Pepakura templates work. Let me make sure I'm putting glue on the right side.
Sam also likes cashews.
Ooh, nice.
We gotta cover the important stuff.
Okay, so I was just making sure I was putting glue on the right side here. So I'm gonna, while those are all drying, I'm just gonna glue up this piece as well so it can dry. That's the nice thing about the contact cement is you can just put the glue on all the pieces and then kind of let the other ones sit there for a second while you glue up the next ones, and then by the time you finish with that, usually it's good. The glue is dried enough on the other one to be able to then glue those pieces together. Sorry, the peppercura thing. I'm not sure. I mean, like, for me to scale any of my templates or anything, I haven't tried doing any templates where you have to really scale them, just because I wasn't sure how to work that for people. But if you do have, if it's a peppercura thing, if it's like a PDF document, or if you're able to bring it into some kind of vector program, like Adobe Illustrator or GIMP, or if you just Google like free vector software, or or something like that, I think there's a couple different ones. Then you can usually like just scale the designs like in all directions evenly, and just kind of scale it by so much percentage, and then try that and see if that works. Otherwise, you can take the template, kind of piece it together, and then hold it up onto, if you're doing it for yourself or for someone else or whatever, hold it up onto your body and just kind of see where where you might need to add to the template, or to make it a little bit larger, or smaller, or whatever, where you need to add to it to fit you better. Add to, and then just kind of like tape on extra pieces and kind of draw out where they need to go to, and then you can take it back off and then lay it out flat, and just kind of go through it that way. But yeah, I'm not sure otherwise, between scaling or just kind of the additive process of just figuring out where you need to add more or less or whatever. But hopefully that was helpful. Okay, so.
She says thanks, that helps a lot.
Okay, good. Awesome. Happy to help. Okay, what time is it?
It's 10:24 here.
Nice. We've been going for about an hour. Okay, so.
Longer.
So it's
No,
been
1 hour.
it's been the longest on this part here. So the way that you can tell when it's ready is just when you kind of touch it and it doesn't come off like here on this wet one. When I touch it, you see that it's stringy.
Yeah, there was a little. Yeah, there you go.
How it kind of comes off stringy. That's it still wet. But if you look at this one that's been drying for a little while, you can kind of hear there's a little bit of a tacky sound, but nothing comes up off on your finger. That's kind of the way that I tell whether I'm good to go or not. Sometimes it's really hard down in the little tiny crack there at the bottom, because if it doesn't get enough air, it might not dry as quick as the rest of it, so it looks like it might still be a little bit wet there. But I think it's probably good enough to go. So, can they see this okay here?
Yep.
Alright, so this is where your registration marks come in super handy, okay? So we're going to start with this dart here, and we're going to push the pieces together. You want to try to...
Whoops.
You want to try to make sure that the top stays flush so that it stays even and doesn't drop down between the lines. And you also want to make sure that your registration marks line up as close together as possible as you go along here. So what I like to do is just, it kind of gets in the way of you guys being able to see, but I kind of hold my finger along the top to just kind of fill and guide it into being flush, and then at the same time try to adjust it to line up with the registration mark. And then I move on to the next one there, and I kind of tack together, focusing more on the registration points and getting those nice and lined up. And then I go back through and kind of press if the in-between sections didn't quite stick together. So you see that? That's why they call it contact cement, because right on contact, it sticks together. Some people will use hot glue as well,
Which is less toxic.
which is less toxic. So that's definitely an option, especially if you're in a smaller space or you don't have a mask for different things. But it does take longer to you have to do smaller sections of gluing. It does take a little bit longer to kind of get through and get it all to stick. So, so if you saw what I did there, I kind of flipped it inside out, and that puts pressure on the outside of the seam here, kind of pushes those together so that that sticks a little bit better. And then you can just, once it kind of dries out, you can flip it back over. So you can see right here, I think I didn't cut it very well. When I was cutting this piece, it kind of had a part that kind of gashed in. And so I didn't get the cleanest seam right there. But I'll show you guys here in a little bit how to repair those seams.
Snowy Panda says that it is 2:24 p.m. in Australia.
Holy.
Sam Gosling says this is cool, and Josh Harper says this is so cool how it works. Loving this live video.
Awesome. Good, guys. I'm so glad. I was kind of nervous. I'm so used to being able to just like fast forward through the boring stuff, but at the same time, sometimes when I'm watching stuff, I'm like, man, I wish I could see how they did the whole process because I didn't get that part that they just went through, you know? So I'm glad that's helpful for you guys. Thanks for the feedback. That's great.
I'm sorry if I don't sound like you when I say your words.
And yeah, in Australia, 2 a.m.
No, it's p.m.
Oh, 2 p.m. Oh, well, that's easier. I thought it was 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh man, night owl.
It says p.m. here.
All right, cool. So now I'm going to start adding this middle section on. And what you want to make sure to do on this one is, because kind of the front face is a little bit more important in my opinion than the back, I'm going to start in the front and get this lined up as perfect as possible. And then if we happen to have something mess up or get over, offset in the back, that's easier to kind of clean up and hide than the front. So we're going to start right here. Same thing. Can they see that?
Yep. It is better if you do it that way, but.
Okay. So I'm just kind of using my finger here to get this edge lined up. And then we want to make sure we get that registration mark right there. And then the next one. Yeah, contact cement is so cool because it's just like you push it together. So it's got its advantages and disadvantages because you push it together and it's stuck. So that can be a good thing, but if you mess up, that can be a bad thing.
Sour Pucker, later next month, I'm going to try and do your Wonder Woman cosplay for someone.
Nice. Cool. Well, hopefully by then I'll have the rest of the videos out as well. With getting my space put back together, I got some recording equipment now too, so hopefully my voiceovers will sound even better. I was just recording them on my phone lately. But yeah, so I just need to record the voiceovers and then get it over to my editor and then we can get those out. I've been slacking with our move.
Snowy Panda says the live video is very helpful, I guess because we can ask you questions as you go.
Yeah, that's true. So here, I don't know if you can tell, but the registration marks, like...
Can you hold it up a little bit, Bill?
This registration marks are kind of, like, they're not wanting to line up just completely on their own, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of having to pull a little bit, or, kind of manhandle the foam a little bit more to get it to line up. And that's the reason that you do those, so that by the end, you have this line up right at the end there. So now I'm going to go back through, same kind of thing as we did on the other one. Push all the other pieces together, and even kind of, not all pieces.
Here, sorry, I need to show you.
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
I'm sorry, everyone. It was my fault.
Sorry about that. We all still there?
It's offline on my phone. it's just delayed.
Hopefully.
No one will know how to make a Voltron helmet. She broke it.
Wait, are people commenting still though?
Maybe just start it and restart it.
Start it and restop it. I mean, it's still ticking on mine.
But mine isn't.
Maybe just refresh yours.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
okay.
working.
We're still there.
Sorry, everyone.
Okay, technical difficulties. First live build. I feel like we're doing pretty alright for our first time trying to do this. Okay, so while the power was out or whatever happened, we have another half of a helmet. So I think when we cut out, all I was doing was just kind of doing that same thing where I flipped that other one inside out. I was just kind of pressing this in to kind of add pressure to the outside of that seam to just get those to stick together as best as possible. And I might have needed to give this top one a little bit longer before I stuck it together, but I think it's working just fine. So now the fun part, we get to attach the two pieces together. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, you have hair in the middle, and they can't see you, but I'm scared to touch it.
If you just like tilt it from just that metal part
Okay.
there instead of the phone.
Very, very scary now.
So, how's it look, guys?
I don't even know if they can see that.
Huh? Wait, they still couldn't see it?
I'm
Okay. Alright, so we've got the left half now, and we've got the right half, and now we're going to see if it actually will come together and make a helmet. If the two pieces will combine to form a Voltron helmet. Okay.
Joshua Harper loves your mohawk.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks. Maybe I should just build that into it. It's like a new character.
That's actually really cool. In like a kind of Fifth Element type of a way.
Yeah. Okay, so to combine the two pieces together, you guessed it, the same thing as we did to combine the other ones. We'll put glue on this side and glue on this side. And then we'll go through and carefully line and stitch these together. So, here we go. Questions while I'm gluing. This is a good time to do questions and hear a muffled answer. How many people did we lose with the blackout?
We're at 9 right now.
Okay. Not too bad, only one person lost since last time I asked.
Just quiet.
Just absolute. I require absolute silence
While I glue.
while I glue. Please do not disturb me. I'm gluing. Sorry, I don't know proper etiquette for live streaming, live builds, so...
Sour Pucker wants to know if you have any special cons you plan on going to.
I'm definitely going to Salt Lake City Comic Con. That's the closest one to me. I heard that they're starting a new convention in Snake River, Idaho, or Pocatello, Idaho. And it's kind of it's going to be their first year and stuff, so I was thinking about going and trying to help support them to get a Comic Con started there. I haven't I don't have the funds right now to do too much traveling to any other cool conventions yet, but eventually I want to be able to start going out to some other conventions, and hopefully I can get invited to some to do like panels or something like that, because I love doing that kind of thing.
Sarah Parker says, make a trip to Sacramento and anime.
Yeah, anime in Sacramento.
She says Sac Anime. Yeah.
Cool. That sounds good.
Joshua was thinking about going to Pokey too.
Oh, nice.
And Joshua Harper, he was also wondering if you're going to be using spray paint.
Yes. That's kind of my go-to. I don't know, maybe I'm not as professional as some people that use like critter guns and do all kinds of like cool airbrushing and all that stuff. I just kind of go cheap and dirty and use spray paint, but I've managed to be able to do some pretty cool things with spray paint. So I'm thinking of even maybe doing like a tutorial or course on how to paint with spray paint, because I feel like you can get a lot of the same, if not better looking stuff sometimes with spray paint than, especially with like brushed acrylics and things like that, but definitely, you know, even better than some airbrushing and that kind of stuff sometimes. But
and then he's wondering if you use some kind of template while painting.
A template while painting? Sorry, I guess I don't understand the question on that one.
Snowy Panda's wondering if you'll make a visor.
Yes, I'm excited about the visor part. Like I said, I like to kind of go cheap and inexpensive where I can, and spend money on the things that I feel like are worth spending a little bit more on, but saving on other areas. And I'm really excited about the visor part because I have a cool idea to be able to use like a... Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Isn't it weird that... Everyone panic! Isn't it weird that it only shows the comments if I tap the screen now? Yeah. Okay, we're still here. What's this button do? Oh, filters.
Ooh.
Okay, sorry about that. Oh, yes. First Sergeant Murphy, 505th. You probably got nervous when you just came in because
I'm really
nobody was at the seat. But yeah, you asked what kind of glue I'm using. It is DAP Weldwood contact cement. And it's very stinky.
Yes, it is.
But it works very well, as everyone can attest to you that has seen what we've done so far. But yeah, great question. You can also use Barge. There's a couple other brands, but the basic idea is just contact cement that works.
You're glamorous now.
Oh, nice.
Now maybe you're dreamy. Because of all the contact cement.
What about bubbles?
Oh yeah, where are the bubbles?
I think it was on the left.
Bubbles. Yes. Keep going.
If you feel like you're seeing things, it's because of the vapors of the glue.
Woo! Dance party.
Okay. Well, in case I want to use the footage for the parts where I'm actually doing stuff, maybe we...
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to do a dance party again. How do I turn them off?
Just go to normal on the far left.
I did, but then it just doesn't go away.
What?
Like all the options.
Oh, then just tap on the screen somewhere.
It's still there.
What? But it's not doing anything.
Guys, it's too tempting to push bubbles. Snowy Panda missed the whole thing about the visor. Can you?
Oh yeah, sorry. They cut out on the visor. So yeah, I'm super excited about the visor part. I'm gonna be experimenting with it a little bit, but there's this stuff called iDye Poly that I need to order for tinting it that I've heard really works really well. And then
but what are you using?
And then I plan on, for the plastic, so that it's super cheap and easy, I collect, whenever we buy spinach in the like plastic containers frequently, and the lid has like a nice thin plastic surface. So I'm gonna use something like that, or like the plastic of like a new button-up shirt kind of thing, or sometimes you get different packaging that comes in that kind of that little bit stiffer plastic that's clear. Yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of scrap, like reuse some of those things that have kind of a bigger surface to them, and make the visor out of that, and then use like dye poly or something like that to tint it. And I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out, because it's be a really inexpensive way to do it, and if it looks great, then no need to spend crazy money to try to do something else. So.
Snow, Sam Gossam wanted to point out that if you did go to the anime convention, you can dress as someone from Attack of Titan.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Just so that maybe you'll watch it.
Yeah, does Ruby count as anime? Because it's like American made, or I don't know, maybe somebody could answer that for me.
Probably should have a mask on.
Yeah. Sorry.
Woo!
Do you want to go grab one? I think the black one is spiderless and it's up in the hallway closet.
Snow Panda wonders if you would recommend transparent Warbler.
I haven't used it. I know that it's like pretty expensive. And from what I understand, it's basically just PETG plastic that they're using, and they call transparent Warbler because it doesn't really function like Warbler. From what I haven't used it myself, but from what I understand is it doesn't really have the same qualities as Warbler. But I mean, I bet that would work for it. Just price wise, I don't know if it's the most bang for the buck. I think you could like contact a plastic distributor or like a sign maker kind of thing or something like that in your local area that might have like a PETG plastic or something else that might work just as well, but that you could get for less. Because I think they kind of mark it up with the Warbler brand on it for the Transpa art. But yeah, I don't know. Did that answer your question? I mean, I think it would work great if you have it then already. Then yeah, for sure. Like I think that would be a great use of it to do a visor. But yeah, I just bought my first own set of black Warbler not too long ago. I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram post of it, but so I'm pretty excited to play with that stuff a little bit more and do some comparison videos and kind of compare it to how my compare it to poly armor and stuff from the poly armor video that I made, and just kind of see how it compares, how smooth the black Warbler actually is, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, I lost my question. Looker person. So I'm just waiting for the glue to dry here between these two pieces. Let's see. Oh yeah, on Amazon, Sour Pucker. Okay, perfect. PETG sheet, clear plastic. Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think from what I understand, I watched a couple of videos on the Transpa art stuff, and they compared it to PETG plastic, and performed similarly in a lot of ways. And if I remember right from the review, they actually said that they would recommend PETG over the Transpart anyway, because it actually performed better in some ways. I'm not completely sure on that. That's one of the areas where I'm going to start getting into some of the other plastic types a little bit more. I want to make something out of Sintra and play with that, as well as playing around with some PETG plastics and some other transparent things. And then also I want to try doing like some recycling of some HDPE plastic, so like milk cartons and that kind of thing. I was watching some videos where you can melt that plastic down, and I want to be able to try to like make it into a flat sheet and then see how it handles, like if I can cut it just with tin snips, and then if I can heat it without it like melting, but with it softening, and see what I can do there. Because from what I understand with the HDP, if you heat it up enough and you put two pieces together, it'll bond together as well. So Anyway, I'm gonna be playing with a bunch of stuff like that too in the future here, and so I'll be, probably putting out some videos with like updates on that and different things. But yeah, let's see. Hey, Jenna's on here. Hey, how's it going?
Jenna who?
Jenna Marion, my aunt.
Oh, hi Jenna.
And then Sour Pucker said she found a PETG plastic clear sheet 12 by 24 on Amazon. And it's only $7? What? Ha, that's legit. Cool.
I just want everyone to know, I look like a really cool
Oh,
bad guy right
Yeah, come
now.
around here. Olivia found a mask. Oh, and then Jenna said, "Hey, Livy."
I just think I look like a really cool bad guy right now.
Yeah, so I got
Just saying.
I got these cool masks on Wish. Wish is dangerous. If you get the app, they just have like tons of fun stuff. Most of it probably that you don't need, but it's like so inexpensive that you want to buy it. It does take like a month usually to get to you. It usually gets there faster than it tells you it will though. But you just have to plan on waiting. It's not fast like Amazon, but it is a lot less expensive usually. Where's my red one? Anyway, I don't need it. I've got this mask, but okay, cool. So let's see. Nope, not ready yet. Okay, any other questions while we're waiting for the glue to dry?
Everyone's just saying how much money they spend on Wish.
Oh, nice. You guys already all know about it.
Sour Pucker and Joshua Harper. And
Yeah.
that I'm a scary Bane. Just a gender bend.
Nice.
Gender bend Bane.
Yeah. Yeah, Wish is
I wonder what
dangerous.
that voice would sound
You think of the darkness. I don't
like.
know.
You think the darkness is your ally? I don't know. Way too much glue in here.
Yes.
Everyone wants to know what's on your arm.
That I keep scratching. It's just when I had that other piece and I bumped into it, some of the glue got stuck on my arm. It's not like burning or stinging or anything. It's just stuck to me, and I'm trying to get it off of my hair.
People are, Sour Pucker asks, what are you going to use to hide your seams? Quick seal?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I learned that trick from Evil Ted and Bill Duran. Let me grab it real quick and I'll show you guys.
It's just me here and a chair. Hi cosplayers. I'm not gonna touch the camera because it causes problems. But if I did, there you go, Josh.
Were they giving you requests while I was?
Josh said we needed interlude music. I was talking awkwardly behind the camera.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, great question. DAP Quick Seal. So yeah, this was a recommendation from Bill Duran and Evil Ted that they use to do seal their seams. So I'm gonna give it a try on this one. We'll go through that process here once we get the helmet together. Actually, we've got some other stuff we'll do before we seal it. So we'll see how late should we go before we say until next time kind of thing.
I don't know.
What time is it?
It's 10:51.
What do you guys think? How much longer are you guys good to go? Like another half hour or so? Okay. Well, I mean, we'll for sure at least get these pieces together, and then.
Tyler says hi. Hi, Tyler. Tyler, your cousin.
Oh, hey, Tyler, man.
We haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah. Small world.
I didn't think I was gonna be involved with the video. Joshua Harper's phone's gonna die in like 5 minutes.
Shoot.
Just to give you an idea.
Well, if you have a computer, you can switch over to your computer.
What's that?
What's a computer? I thought we carried computers around in our pockets now. Okay, sorry, I'm just. Okay, I think that this is probably. Okay, this is good to go now. Let's
Yeah, maybe you should.
watch the magic.
The one doing this the whole time. I don't know about that move.
that was the patented Skylar Classic twist around. Okay. Cece and Winston mess around. Okay, so.
Tyler says small YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Oh shoot. Shoot.
Don't do that, guys.
Okay. So I got a little careless there, and I let it go a little bit past where I was wanting to have control over it. So here the registration marks are a little bit further apart, so I can't do what I was kind of doing earlier, where I would just go up to each registration mark. You kind of have to.
Sour Pucker's wondering
Keep
if you're going to hide the seams tonight.
Yes. I was planning to. We can do a little bit of it and show how to do it. But there's some other stuff that I was probably gonna do on it before and just hide all the seams all at once. But it just kind of depends on how far we get with the time, if it's getting too late. But I mean, we can do that, do a section of it. I mean, I'm sure it would be fine with everyone. Maybe ask everyone. Okay, so this is kind of the tricky part, going through.
I think this would super work for our Magneto helmet.
This would what?
Magneto.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like basically the exact same shape. There's just different details on it.
Sour Pucker says do it tomorrow because they've got to go and they didn't want to miss it.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, well, we'll do it later then.
No worries.
See ya. Have a good night. If they're leaving. Were they the ones in Australia? Or where?
Sour Pucker, no, that's Snowy Panda.
Oh, okay. Okay. Whew. It's always the nerve-wracking part. You're like trying to line everything up perfect, and you get one shot. You don't want to miss your chance.
To blow this opportunity.
Comes once in a lifetime. Are we dating ourselves with that?
I'd date
Music
myself.
reference? I would date myself.
Way too much glue in here,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Way too much.
Oh boy, here we go. Guys ready for the reveal?
I'm not gonna touch them. Nice.
I don't know how it looks. How does it look?
Sweet. Yeah.
I guess it would help if I took my glasses off. They don't have glasses, right?
Yeah. 4 minutes.
Let's see, how does it?
Sour Pucker says it looks so good.
Yeah, sweet.
Super cool.
So yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all.
Alpha Proto says looks nice. Welcome, Alpha Proto. We haven't talked to you yet.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you heard me. Welcome, Alpha Proto.
Sweet. Well, yeah, that's looking pretty cool. So, I don't know. Let's just kind of check with you guys. So, I mean, there's some, more pieces that we obviously need to add to this. Yeah. So what I think we'll do is we'll pick up again tomorrow, let me just pull up. We'll just kind of talk about like where we're at and what we have in the plans.
Just so they can see you. It's hard to.
Sorry. So, don't want to see me enter my password.
Bye, Josh.
See you, Josh. Thanks for tuning in, man. Okay, so. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see here. There's probably a better picture. A little bit bigger picture. Okay, so it's got like this little inset right here that comes in, and then we've got the detail that we need to add here in the front, and then, oops.
Maybe say a time before people start getting off. Sam Gossam wants to know.
Okay, yeah.
Time.
So tomorrow, around the same time probably. Sure. So yeah, tomorrow 9:15, we'll jump back on again and continue with this. Right now I'm just going to kind of do a quick breakdown of, you know, probably the stuff that we'll do tomorrow, and where we'll get to. But yeah, so tomorrow 9:15, same time. Hopefully I'll be on time and not 5 minutes late this time. But yeah, grab your friends, bring them, invite them to join in and everything too. And I'll leave this video up, posted, you know, for the next couple days if you guys need to reference it at all or anything like that. And then we'll see how that goes and if I end up like removing it or anything like that. But yeah, so we need to add the details to the front.
Bye, Sam.
See you, Sam. There's the little inlet cut that comes around the side of the mask, or around the whole helmet there. And then these parts that come down and the opening there. And something cool that I got.
Bye, Sourpucker.
Bye, Sourpucker. Is this for whoever's left? Do we have anybody left?
It says poor connection.
Shoot. So I got this. So it's just the EL wire that I plan on using to, let's get these little twisty ties off.
Sourpucker, wait, what is that?
So I'm gonna, when we add that little inlet part that wraps around, that kind of, it's like a little valley that kind of sticks in there, on here, and then here where you kind of see the glowing. My plan is to be able to kind of feed this through, like here in the front, and then run it into the helmet, and then have it pop out right here, and then run around the side of the helmet like this, and it'll be inset in the helmet a little bit, and then we'll use some of the you know, generic plastic, rough it up, and give a diffused look around the helmet, hopefully there, so it kind of diffuses that light. It won't be super bright, but I mean, that's a pretty decent brightness, but it'll be a pretty sweet little accent that we'll just add to the helmet. And it's just got this tiny little power inverter thing, and you know, we can figure out somewhere where to hide this. And then on the back, we just have a little bit of detail that will get added in right here. So that's kind of the plan of where we're gonna go with this. And so once we get kind of some of those detail pieces here on the front kind of figured out, then we'll go through and do the hiding the seams, I think. So we'll try to get through as much of that as we can tomorrow, and then if not, we'll just schedule another time and continue from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it was helpful. Hope you guys will tune in tomorrow, invite other people, and yeah, make sure if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, and let's forge some awesome fantasies. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and cosplay on, my friends.
What? Bye, guys.
That's what I do.